What's going on, and welcome to the Stick Drift Podcast, a podcast for all things cars, racing games, motorsports, and more. Oh, okay. It broke again, but, like, only for a little bit. Okay, I fixed it. It's frozen for a little bit, but then it's fine. So don't even worry about it, Mr. Video Watchers. It unfreezes in a minute. Yes, welcome to what I think is the 6th episode?
Lose count after every episode, but you know,
you'd think it would be easier. It's one of the episodes, yeah. You'd think it would be easier to remember what number of episode we're on. I still don't know how to start the podcast with the intro there, because the intro does the what's going on and welcome to the Stick Drift Podcast. So I've taken my own job, is what I've done. I've automated my own job.
Might well make the whole thing there. I'd not just deepfake of me going, whoa.
It'll be one of those crazy things where it's like, oh my god, we've gotten to the point where you can use an AI to make a whole podcast episode. I mean, you probably could.
It wouldn't be very good. But...
Yeah, but there's probably AIs that can simulate like a whole conversation. And then there's definitely AIs that can take two people talking and then put them into a visual people talking. But but that's completely...
It would be a thing. It'd be interesting to watch. But
yeah,
you know.
It would be interesting at the least. But yes, welcome back to another episode of the Stick Drift Podcast. Who knows what episode of the Stick Drift Podcast it is? It's definitely one of them. But yes, welcome back. Today, what happened last week? Not a lot has happened last week.
Things happened last week. I couldn't tell you what, but they did happen.
Yeah. I mean, the last thing here I see was the Renault Astral. That was last week. And then BMW, I assume they've released it, because a lot of the talk about it seemed from the perspective of it
There's
having
a
been
price,
released.
so if it hasn't released, it releases soon.
Yeah, the BMW i7 will be going into that. Check out Zika 009 electric minivan, which I think we'll get into that. A bunch in spotted. The Hyundai Ioniq 5, a couple other cars. If I scroll down, a new electric Porsche. So that, and this one isn't taken style at all, really. Facelifted Audi e-tron, the SUV one. A Lego F-150 was made. I don't know if this one was made.
It doesn't look real.
No.
Lego. Like the image is so low res, like a deep fake.
Yeah. More in spotted. The iX2 was spotted with the old spotted livery. There was also Jeep's first EV,
but it just looks like a Jeep.
It just looks like a Jeep, yeah, which is a whole other thing. It just got the thinner line. It's just like the line headlights, I guess.
It's a bit more boxier, maybe.
The first look at the 2023 Honda Accord, the Buick Electra.
They still make Buicks, but
SUV,
carry on, I guess.
A BMW Dune, rally raid car, which I thought looked really cool for BMW, especially.
It looks like an extreme e-car.
Yeah. The Vauxhall Corsa, which was just sort of dipped in being spotted, and then they just left the rest of it.
They're changing the front grille.
I guess so, yeah. The BMW i7, the i5, sorry, which not released, but on top of that, the Toyota Prius is, I believe, getting a new version.
Toyota Prius hype.
Whoa, Toyota what actually is that? Is it getting a new version, or what's going on with that?
I'd assume so. It's got angular lights on the preview of it, so...
I mean, the current Prius, that's as bad looking of a car as I think it is, right?
I don't know what the new one looks like. I know what the first gen looks like.
I mean, let me look up a Toyota Prius.
Yeah, what does a 2021 Prius look like?
Oh god, Toyota is the same company that does the Supra. They do the Prius. I completely forgot about that. Those two in my head don't click. You don't think Supra and then Prius. You know,
I mean, Ford makes the Ford GT and the Fiesta. So,
I guess so, yeah. But I mean, Ford's known for that, I guess. I mean, maybe Toyota is as well, just not to me.
Yeah, no one's heard of the Super. Obscure
Yeah.
cars.
Pretty stinky car though. Pretty, it's there.
It's hybrid sedan sort of
Yeah.
looking thing. It's just
You know
car
what?
AI traffic.
If you dropped it and put a big spoiler on it, I think
It
it
wouldn't
could
look
look.
It wouldn't look good.
It would look like Need for Speed good, where it's just so over the top that
Is
it's
that good?
goofy enough to laugh at. I mean, maybe not. Depends how you look at it.
Reader interpretation, I guess.
Yeah, but the Toyota Prius getting a new model with this design.
It's just all we could see is a black image with like a silhouette with angular headlights. So.
The headlights are a lot more flat looking though. Like, is that just me? That thing is way more flat. Oh no, maybe it isn't.
They're probably gonna make it bigger and turn it into a more boxy, angular shape instead of the smooth that thing.
I mean, it's already pretty angular, though, I guess.
They don't really exist in the UK, so
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
the
a
US
hybrid,
can keep them.
right?
It's a gift. Yeah.
So it's not fully electric. I'm surprised they've not turned it fully electric yet. New hybrid will debut. Okay, yeah, so it's still going to be hybrid as well. I mean, it's got the, it's got the build of not an amazing build, essentially, from the side. The side profile is pretty disgusting as well.
It's a car. I mean,
Yeah.
it probably drives.
On top of that, something else new and upcoming was the Honda Accord, the 2023 version of the Accord. And I wanted to bring this thing up specifically because we talked about it, I don't know if it was last episode, but we talked about how the Honda Civic just is becoming a sport Accord.
Well,
And
they
I
don't
think,
even sell
like,
the Accord here anymore. They haven't for, I think, very, very long time, like a decade almost now. So.
Like, when I saw this, that rang so true. Like, it's so upsetting as well, right? Like, you see okay, I've just searched Honda Egg. But, you see how the Civic went from this, and then it slowly morphed into Type R, but, like, the slightly older one. God, the newer one is...
Well, I don't get what it is anymore, because
Yeah.
the Accord was a four-door Civic. It was just a longer, four-door, bigger Civic. But now it's
And
just
then it
a
went
Civic.
to this. Like, it went from the Egg one to a middle area where it was, like, some of the customizations on the Egg one. And then it
was
got to
starting
this.
to grow longwards. It's getting
Yeah,
longer.
and then now it's stretching out into what
Well, now
is-
it's a four-door
It's
sedan.
Yeah,
basically.
it's just an Accord Sport, which I'll bring up the current Civic. The Civic most recent.
I don't get it has to be a US market only. Or like US territory only one. Because
Yeah.
it doesn't make any sense why it exists.
This, here it is. Like, that to me, it's an Accord
It's the
Sport.
same car.
Like,
Yeah.
They even like don't go fully into a stretched back. They both go into like a comes down at the rear windshield and then just kind of goes down straight away. They both have the extended front. Smooth. Like, they've smoothed. The Civic has gone from round to jagged to round again to look like an Accord, essentially.
Yeah. But like because you said the Civic is like a sportier Accord. Well, that's the Civic Type R. If you remove the wing
was gonna say,
and
yeah,
all the
'cause
like sport aspects of the new Civic,
There's a normal
You have an
version of the
Accord.
Civic as well, yeah.
and then an Accord that's probably 4 centimeters shorter. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Like, I've said...
The waste of R&D. Like, it's
Yeah.
why does it exist?
It's just... It's not even a... Is it still classed as a hatchback? It couldn't be, surely. Like,
It'd
surely...
be stretching it very far
Yeah,
if it was.
surely it hasn't been a hatchback for, like, at least a couple generations at this rate. Like, once it went from, like, the Egg one with the pinstripe and everything...
Anything after the Egg was...
Like, yeah, that...
Yeah.
Once it got into those territories. But I don't know if I said this on last podcast, but I have been thinking I've been giving some thought to considering this Civic, I guess it's 2023? Yeah, 2023,
Well, they brought back
I
the
think.
Integra as well recently.
Yeah.
And it's just an Accord.
Like, it's just, like, they just...
They have 3 versions of the Accord, and I don't
Yeah.
get why.
But I wouldn't mind getting the sportier version, the Civic with the spoiler and the little bit at the front.
I mean, you can't get the Accord or the Integra here anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. So
No one would buy them.
British
There'd be
one,
no
yeah.
point. They're just more expensive Civics.
Yeah. But that was just something that was quite interesting when that came to mind, because obviously we're saying that it was just becoming an Accord, and then this image of the new Accord comes out, and it's just a slightly smoother, longer this. But yeah, rest in peace, the Civic. The Civic gets a lot of talk.
I hope Honda know what they're doing, because that's not a great idea.
One petrol, one hybrid, and onto an electric with the new Jeep. The first EV Jeep. I didn't know that Jeep hadn't done it.
It looks sort of like a bubblier, like more rounded. I know it is the track hawk, but it's the non-sporty version of the track hawk. The normal non-track hawk version of that is. It just looks like a rounder version of that.
I mean, if you told me that's what the current Jeeps look like, I'd believe you. If you told me that was a petrol Jeep,
I've got a feeling it's not going to age very well. In 10 years, that will look like a 10-year-old car.
And also the lined headlights. I'm only kind of clocking it now, really.
Everyone has it.
Yeah.
Citroen, Peugeot, Renault, I think do it as well now.
How good are they for actual distance and visibility?
Oh, they use like those ultra laser beaming headlights that blind absolutely everyone. So.
Like, I want to see the I hope we don't stop seeing those trailers. I don't know what advert it is. I don't know which car company it is. One car company has the advert where a deer walks onto the road.
Mercedes.
Is it them? It looks to the side with lights flashing on it. And then it's like intense, and then the thing just walks away because it's like, oh my god, the lights go really far on this car. Whoa.
It's a German brand, I'm pretty sure. It's Mercedes, BMW, or Audi.
I know someone does it. Hey, comment down below if you know who does it, because I know I've seen that advert, and it's kind of cool every time I see it. It's a notable advert, but surely the lines, I would assume they'd be moving away from that. I mean, I guess it's got the smaller lights down here as well, which you could whack on.
I mean, headlights have been regulated ever since Mercedes came out with those laser ones. They were actually unbelievable. Like, in the advert, they showed light through like a cow or something. Which, believe it or not, going straight into the human eye isn't a good idea. So.
God damn.
Yeah, they were quickly EU regulated.
God, having to regulate headlights. Companies really go above and beyond when you have to regulate
an arms race of who can make the most blinding light known to mankind.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird because it still has the pocket holes. It's like someone's gouged out the eyes on this Jeep because it still has the sockets for the normal headlights.
It just is like taking a normal Jeep and just it's got a facelift. But again, it looks very, the new Discovery.
Yeah.
It looks very that sort of shape. It's a new Disco with Jeep styling on it.
But again, it's a facelift to you because I assume you've seen what a current Jeep looks like. To me,
who hasn't kept in the UK.
Yeah, well, there you go. To me, who hasn't even seen a Jeep in so long, this could just be what Jeeps look like right now. It's really uneventful.
It doesn't look very EV, and it doesn't look very aerodynamic, considering it's got like a 3 square meter flat to the
Who did this recently? I feel like we talked about another brand who made a car that was an EV. And was it the Jeep? Did we talk about this Jeep already? But it might have been spotted while spotted rather than a full image of it, I assume. Because I feel like we talked about Jeep making an EV and we're like, yeah, this doesn't even look like an EV. Because it was either Jeep or it was someone else.
Most, like, apart from the Lightning and maybe Rivian, most US EVs don't look like EVs.
Yeah.
They have an obsession over there with this.
It's a missed opportunity, really.
It's got to be as aerodynamic as humanly possible.
Yeah, exactly. Because then Americans will buy it.
It's got to be 5 miles long, 5 miles wide, and it's about aerodynamic as a brick.
Yeah,
so.
They'll miss the opportunity of doing something cool with EVs, but they won't miss the opportunity of having 50,000 square miles per car and just
US manufacturer when they get to make another SUV.
Exactly. Yeah, it's. It's
not even a 4-door, is it? Oh no, it is, but it's got the
is it?
12-door handles where they're above the. They're in
oh my god! Okay, yeah.
gonna say
That's weird. That's unnatural, I would say.
it might not be that long then.
It
I mean, they're
probably
probably
isn't. No.
American length doors. I don't know.
It looks kind of.
It looks like it's got a short wheelbase. It looks like sort of
Yeah,
new
it looks really
Discovery
compact.
size.
Yeah, it's more. I'd say Jeep size. It's more a Jeep size. It's more like a regular
Like a
SUV
Wrangler
size
size.
than like an Escalade size. It looks more like
Escalade size is like a tank. It's a different class.
Yeah, I'm more like the Cherokee size. It looks closer to like default BMW SUV size than it does to
Yeah.
Cherokee size.
It's like an X5 sort of
Yeah,
thing.
which I would
Yeah.
say is a lot better. Oh, speaking of something like that, I saw something recently. I don't know what it is, because I saw what was the front of a Fiesta on what was like a small SUV, like a hatchback size SUV shape
Ford makes
with
so
the
many
front of a
SUVs.
Fiesta. It was such a weird mixture of shapes.
Puma looks like they made like this one Fiesta Focus style for like 3 years, and they used that on the Puma.
I wouldn't even know what to search to get it because it's such a weird. It's like bright, like yellow as well, and it's like the
They
front
make-
of a Fiesta on like a
The Cougar, was it the Cougar?
what Ford Cougar? Ford.
Yeah.
Cougar.
I know they make the Cougar, the Edge, the Puma.
I'm not seeing
The C-Max?
Not even that. It's like
They make
it's
so many.
not like the newest of eras because it doesn't have that new Ford front. It's
Because
like
it got like the grille that's like a sort of trapeze sort of.
I think.
Because the C-Max sort of has that.
It is the front of it looks like one of the Focuses that is like
year?
this, I think. This. It's like that, but on like a mid SUV, like smaller kind
The
of
issue
thing.
is they make so many of them. You've got the like, there's like 5 that it could be.
Yeah, it's so
The
awkward.
C-Max, you got the S-Max as well, I guess.
C Max, because it's such a
It's gonna be a
weird.
specific year. It'll be that year of C-Max.
Oh god, C Max but smaller, I guess. Maybe.
It might be like that year of C-Max. That's not.
But
They-
it's
like
yeah, it's so
it's
weird.
Ford. It was like a 1 year only. We have the
Yeah,
chassis.
I didn't
why
even
not?
know like shapes of cars like that existed. It's weird stuff. Like one like that because it weirded me out
Is
the
it
first
like
time I saw
smaller
it.
and sort of longer?
I think it was just smaller, if anything. But
They make a tiny SUV and they make like a stretch
Yeah.
because they've got money to burn.
But it was weird, and it caught me by surprise because it was like the front of a Focus on such a weird shape. And I've had that because car companies do the most lazy thing where they're like, let's just take the front of a car and put it on a different shape of car to sell more.
Volkswagen
Like-
love doing that.
Yeah. The other one that really weirds me out, and I think Black Panther has one, it's the front of an Evo, I want to say. Or is it the front of a Skyline? Just on like an estate where they're like a long, like
I think there's an Evo and a Skyline version.
I
There's
think,
the
yeah,
Sedan
there's
and then
both
there's
of
the
them.
Evo wagon.
yeah, I think both of them exist, but that's a car like that gives me the same vibe. Where it's
Every
like
company who makes a wagon does that. Mercedes do it, Audi.
well,
everyone
Mercedes,
does
everything looks like everything for Mercedes.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, right, a cut there, and I don't really remember where we left off, so oh well, I suppose. But we were talking about the Prius, the Jeep, as I can see from evidence, I suppose. The Prius, the new Prius, the new Jeep. I think there was something in between there as well, also making something new. The facelift for the e-tron, the SUV. Are they both called the e-tron? Because they're both.
There's the
like,
e-tron and the e-tron GT. The GT is the wide saloon.
Yeah, well, I know there was one Jeep and one not Jeep, essentially. But the e-tron gets a facelift. I don't know. It looks a bit worse.
It looks like a Q7 or something.
I'd say
like it's
the
just-
fake grill is still. Oh my god, the fake grill's still pretty bad. I guess. Like at that point, why not just leave it as a normal? Because it's got holes in it, right? Like I'm looking,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
looking at holes in it. So why bother with?
It's just a Q7 or something, like Q7
Yeah.
or Q5 that they've put an electric powertrain in. But when you're paying that much money, you'd expect something bespoke.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of bespoke, a Zika swanky electric minivan. This was actually like 2 episodes ago, I want to say, but I think I left it out, and then it came back up, and I was like, you know what? I'll put it in this
It
time.
looks like if Escalade made Cadillac Escalade minivan.
It looks kind
It
of
looks like
cool.
a slammed Escalade.
Oh yeah, it's really low, I guess. For if it was America, it would be 10 times higher for no reason.
It's big enough to be America. They can just have it.
Yeah, but it looks very cyberpunk, I would say. It looks very cyberpunk.
It also looks like it weighs a lot and isn't very aerodynamic. But yeah,
I'd assume it's region locked. I would assume to somewhere. I'd assume somewhere more East Asian. Yeah, but it looks pretty cool, all things considered. I wouldn't. I'd have to see what cars it's around. See, that's the issue is with the whole thing that we talk about as well, that like the car companies that'll make EVs that are noticeable, EVs that aren't noticeable, is that what direction? I feel like all of cars are just splitting into such wild directions at the moment. Because some stay with the petrol look, but which is essentially the like more 2010s look.
everyone's banking on different things. Like Renault are really banking on the retro, like neo-retro aesthetic to take off. But like Audi really doesn't want to. I guess they just like I don't know, his car, PNG, grill.
And there's so much of that where like there will be the like 2010s petrol design, and then there'll be the electric design, like the actual neon kind of like the jagged or whatever. And so many car companies are splitting off in that, and it feels like there's gonna be a massive inconsistency unless it all starts to catch up with itself. And we're all probably gonna see it come to a foot when the whole thing goes in where every car has to be electric. Because at that point, it'll really be like...
At that point, what, 2030? Like, is it 30 or 30? Well, Honda said 2030, so I'd assume it'll be around that time anyway.
And I guess it depends on the
price. But even by then,
well.
everyone will have new designs anyway.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. I guess... I mean, it depends on the reasoning as well, right? So if it's someone like Jeep, maybe they're just waiting to renew their design?
By the time that everything has to be electric and they don't have to fit in quotation marks.
I'll be right back, one sec.
They'll all target hyper aerodynamic styling, I reckon. Like, the US has an obsession with flat fronted cars. I guess being as unaerodynamic as humanly possible is the end goal there. But even this is just like 5 square meters of just flat. There's no way this is aerodynamic. If you're gonna have an EV, at least make it aerodynamic so you get some decent range out of it instead of just having a windbreak as the front grille of your car. I don't get it. Peugeot have sort of done that. They've done a good in between with the like neo retro sort of styling, but their cars are petrol. But they've got very small grills. It's French, you'll probably catch on fire anyway, but yeah. They've got very small grills, so like the transition from ICE to EV won't be as much of a jump compared to a brand like Audi, where some of their EVs have no grill, but like the new e-tron it's just like a Q7. Someone's taken a Q7 and just sprayed the grill grey. Like, I don't get why. Even that's probably still more aerodynamic than this brick, so...
But yeah, I mean, that's just sort of the thing, is that it's going to be really... Yeah, by the time that the whole everyone electric now or else...
You said no one's, like, they're all going different directions.
Yeah.
Like, I mentioned it when you went, like, Peugeot. Like, their current, like, the 206 and stuff like that, they, like, are a very good in-between. Like, they're petrol...
Peugeot have electrics?
But, like, they do, but they're, like, very rare. They don't make many of them.
Yeah.
But, like, they're newly... You know the little hatches with the angry eyes on them?
Yeah.
But those are a good in-between of petrol and electric. Like, I can see the next version of that being electric and it working, because the previous one looks modern. instead of just doing a Renault and going from a Clio to a hyper neo retro
Yeah.
Renault 5.
Well, I mean, also, I guess it could be playing the market a bit too scared, I guess, because, like, what if Jeep is like, oh, if we do something like the Ford F-150 Lightning, oh my god, what if the people who buy the cars don't want to buy this thing because they'll know it's electric or whatever. What if it could be in large part that, right? Like, I guess Renault is just sending it. Ford, I suppose, just sent it with not as much as Renault with their EV designs. It could be playing it safe, I guess, to, like, yeah, have indistinguishable cars where it's like, you know, this one's electric, this one's not. You could buy either one.
How much of an Audi fanboy would you have to be to get an e-tron?
Yeah,
Because, like,
that's the thing.
they cost like over 100 grand. So that's R8 money.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get why you would get an AI traffic Q7 over like something like a.
Especially
it's
when
the
the
most
point
practical thing in the
is-
world. But you get like an R8 if it's over 130 grand. You get an R8 and like a Volkswagen Passat or something. If you're a really Volkswagen Audi Group fanboy.
Especially when the whole point is that EV isn't supposed to be prestige; it's supposed to become the norm instead of being like the prestige. I think that's what was. I was gonna say that's what was happening, but the electric that I knew the most way back when was like the Leaf, I guess. So, but the Leaf and the Prius, those were the first.
Leaf
few,
and the Zoe.
Like yeah. I mean, the Prius was just the one that I'd heard of, but that was hybrid. But yeah,
The Insight was quite popular as well.
Leaf and Zoe, those were the sort of the first ones that came around, and I want to say Tesla is who came around and then made electric more like luxury feeling, where it's like, oh look, it's expensive and it's electric, whoa, and then Porsche did the Taycan, and then now it's sort of been trickling down where the more general companies like the Jeeps and the BMWs and all of them. I guess the i8 and the goofier i that they made, the other thing. But those again, there is hybrid versions of those.
You get Corsa E's, like Golf E's, like they exist. Like companies do make them, but no one buys them because more expensive, less range. Why would you?
I mean, exactly. Like the whole point is for them to be coming down into the
they would
norm.
have to go below normal car price for people to consider them.
And hopefully, like,
And I don't see that happening.
Yeah, and hopefully, like 20 years after that, we see YouTube videos of like Kurzgesagt being like, "This is how much we saved the world because everyone drives EVs now," and there'll be like a big diagram of
Apart from the US, because they drive F-150 Lightnings, which are less environmentally friendly than an internal combustion engine car.
The resale market is gonna take so long to outwear itself, is the thing, right? Like, say right now.
Well, I reckon the average vehicle age is going to rocket because people are going to be so hesitant to switch to EV that they're just going to hang on to their existing cars for as long as humanly possible.
Exactly. Especially when they wouldn't be making those cars anymore to any degree. Not
You've
even
already seen
like...
that with anything at least slightly sporty has rocketed up in value. Because they're not going to make them anymore. So.
And I don't think they're really going to focus on that mid-range R8 kind of sporty...
It's quite a mid-range car, to be fair.
I mean, like, not the
super... I might be buy a mid-range car.
I mean mid-range for a sports car, right? As in, like, not...
Super sporty. The MX... the Z4's 30. Mid-range is like 60.
Okay, like, more than 100 grand... But less than...
It's a supercar territory
but
at that
less
point.
than a supercar, right? Less than, like, the 500s, 400s. The R8 caliber, or like an F-Type, or like an R8, or something like that. One of those type of cars. I don't think they're going to be making those till... all of the bottom line is electric.
What I don't get, right, because Mazda and Toyota don't have any major hype EVs, if they do have any EVs at all. Why don't Toyota bring back, like, the MR2 or something as an EV, and Mazda bring back, like, the RX series, but called, like, the EX or something, like the EX9? And... because they generate hype if they were retro-styled, like the old MR2, like an RX-7 or something. Like retro-styled, small, sporty EVs, they would get hype.
That's the thing. People feel
and I can see them easily. They could easily justify charging 65 grand for a new MR2 EV.
like people just aren't. They aren't like there's the neo retroing something. That's the thing. People just aren't doing those, and I feel like those will be done more.
It's the easiest
once,
cash grab
like,
known to mankind.
Yeah, like
'Cause
once
every time one is unveiled, people are like, "Whoa, that looks really cool."
Yeah, like people, they'll do the hatchbacks and the SUVs, and those will be electric, and then they'll
Super
be like,
SUV wet.
and then they'll be like, oh my god, look, and now it's this car but electric, and and the resale market will be an absolute monstrosity to deal with at that point.
Like, when MG are gonna come out with an electric sports car before Toyota and anyone else, like you've just taken it out. Like literally, what they've done is gone, oh, we have this platform. Why if you just put a sports car body on it?
I mean,
why is no one else?
It's being done passive. I want to say passively, but more just like not noticeably. There's like, who did we look at the other day? There was like Skoda. They did an SUV that was electric. It's like, that's
no one's gonna buy it, but yeah.
Like, that's kind of good, I guess, because again, it's like, it's that bottom line is set, and it's like, once the bottom line is set, it's like, okay, now let's do everything above that, which is all of the R8s and the.
It's because the batteries have to be so
R5.
big because they make them so unaerodynamic.
Yeah.
Like a Model 3 has half the size battery of most American EVs, but has more range because it's aerodynamic. You can't make a brick go through the air very well.
And I mean,
car companies need to, like, they must know that. Like, they must
I don't
spend
think
millions
Neo
on aero
Retro
research.
is gonna help that any much
Anything
so
is
much.
more aerodynamic than that Jeep or an Lightning. Like, you can't really get more aerodynamic than that.
Yeah. And speaking of unaerodynamic electric cars, big news recently. Right after BMW constantly recently, I feel like screw SUVs of the week. We could do the BMW of the week, as they've just had something in the works every single week. Last time, I think it was another Spotted While Spotted. Before a Spotted While Spotted, then the M2 was in the first ever podcast. Finally, this week, the BMW i7 has been I believe, released. The i7.
Yeah.
It's speaking of unaerodynamic.
The two-tone one looks kind of cool. The one below that image.
So the red one with the black top.
Yeah, the two-tone one looks more luxury.
Yeah. I say this too often. It looks kind of cyberpunk. And when I say that, I mean the game, not the art style. This one, I mean the art style, the actual what is cyberpunk. This one looks like it would be in the game, where it's not actually fully cyberpunk, but it's like, it's got that blocky feel.
It has a fake grille, again.
Oh, is it fake grille? Oh my god, of course it is, yeah. Oh, that is kind of terrible, yeah. Did the i8 was electric at some point as well, right?
No, the i8 was hybrid.
Was that always hybrid?
People always make that mistake because that is the only car that was hybrid, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, I've been
And I
gaslit.
don't know why they did that.
Yeah, I've been
because the
gaslit by the people who
i3,
made the
then
mistake.
i3.
Yeah.
i3 was fully electric. i8 was hybrid.
Yeah. But this thing is pretty terrible, I guess.
Weighs well over 2 tons. I think it was 2.8.
Yeah.
Like fully, like everyone, like 5 people in the car because it bare fit 5 people and luggage, and it's 3 tons.
It looks like a car the villain would get driven around in, just like the villain as a person would get driven around in. It's got a really odd feel. I want to say
It's BMW trying to do something that they're not. Like that, it's trying to be like this hyper luxury sedan.
At least,
when it's an
luxury
M4
is what it feels like.
with,
yeah.
It's just a 4 Series with a more blocky front. I don't. Costs over 100 grand.
I want to say it's leaning towards a Rolls Royce with just the face of a
the two-tone is very Rolls Royce.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's very Rolls Royce, but with just like a paper mask of a BMW over it.
It was like, if this was a new Bentley, I would understand.
Yeah,
but it's not.
It really it looks old, if anything. Am I wrong in saying it looks
It's
like
the
it's released old.
it's trying to be a Rolls Royce or a Bentley. It's
Yeah.
the overall shape where it's sort of the sweeping back looks very.
It's dipping into a market that it sort of.
They are
wanna
going
say
to
it
sell
doesn't have a
none of
play
these in the
yeah.
UK if it exists.
It looks like it would have a hood ornament where the badge is, but where the
Yeah,
badge is.
yeah,
Like that's the
yeah.
kind of car it looks like. I want to say I like what they're trying. It's not going to sell,
It costs way too much.
and it costs way too much. Yeah, I believe the pricing was
$108,000 pre-tax.
What?
Yep.
Oh,
I think that I read that. That might be the low spec version. This two-tone will be a 10 grand option. I guarantee it.
108,000.
For the option, this is going to be a £130,000 car.
Yeah.
Pre-tax, $30,000 car. So it's gonna around 150 grand. It's gonna be over here.
To be fair, it says, but does it justify its £108, £108,000 price tag?
Ah, okay.
Not 180.
Is that base?
That is, I would assume, base from this article. Article
Is
from
that the
Autocar.
default grey one? Because that two-tone is not gonna be a cheap
This
option.
was over the grey one, but the other one doesn't. You know what? Have your ads, okay? You know what? Take your bloody ads, Autocar, and keep them, okay? There you go. Okay, i7 reviewed. Let me just search the pound. Pound. 138 as tested for our wait. So rather eye-watering price of 100. I assume that is base price then. Because yeah, it says 138 grand for what I'm reading right now.
That's that's our rate money.
Yeah, from
I don't get
108 grand. God,
you buy a Civic Type R and NSX, a brand new NSX and a brand new Civic Type R, or that. Like, it's insane.
I want to say that really sucks, because I like what they're doing. I really like the attempt.
It just costs way too much money.
Way too much money, though, because you're coming
it's like
into...
M4, it's like M5 competition money. I don't get why it costs that much.
You know what it feels like? Oh, there's such a specific reference I want to make that it feels like, right? Oh, it feels like... I can't think of the specific example here, but say a specific industry of something, right? Like a phone or phone cases or just any kind of specific industry. When someone outside... YouTuber! It looks like it's like a YouTuber doing something in an industry, right? It's a brand that has a completely different kind of reputation coming into a different kind of industry and then just doing their own version of it, which is like slightly lower quality. It's cool that they're doing it. It's YouTuber merch. It's what the Rolls Royce and BMWs. It's the YouTuber merch of Rolls Royce and BMWs.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it feels like. Again, I kind of like what they're doing. The price sucks. If I put the price to the side, it's EV. It's got an interesting design, again, for that Rolls-Royce aesthetic. If it had a hood ornament, it would... It's not as premium as the price they're putting on it, and they want it to feel.
No.
If maybe they were already in that industry of those premium cars, the Rolls' and the Bentleys, sure. But they're not, so the price feels unjustified. But again...
BMW doesn't have a status to justify spending that much money on a default sedan.
What does the interior look like as well? Because it's just a car on the interior. Like, if the interior was going for the same pristine kind of... that, like, from the back it's just a BMW at that point. But then, like, what are you doing? It's like, why are you straying so far if you're going to stray so close? Where I
don't get why. Like...
I say if they go all in with, if they went all in with this, you know, make it a bit bigger and have the seats that face backwards as well, right? Like, put the starred roof as well, unless... Who does that? Rolls Royce?
It already costs 130 grand for the spec you were looking at.
Justify that price,
it's gonna get close to 200 grand.
That's what I mean. But like justify that price, right? Like give it the hood ornament.
They don't make much profit on new cars.
Yeah.
They aren't. This costs almost that 130 grand to make.
Yeah. I mean that's the thing. Is like when the prices start to come down a bit for the production, right? They've made enough the overhead absorption rates. Some accounting for you. Once the overhead absorption rates have spread out enough, right? Once that's come down a bit, then I would say go a bit more all in. Put on the hood ornament. Actually go into the industry like a Mr. Beast YouTuber merch rather than some goofy YouTuber merch where you're just...
BMW doesn't have enough, and it never will have the reputation of luxury.
That's the issue, yeah. They just wouldn't. Like, it's still a BMW, right?
It's average businessmen, like...
They're still the guys that do the...
middle-class
like,
sedan is what a
M3,
BMW
M5,
is.
yeah.
This isn't that.
Yeah, if they did this under a different brand, I feel like that would separate it a little bit, but still it would be too tacky. Tacky is what it is, I guess, yeah, in that industry. But again, that's the issue, right? It's such a middle point. It's such a middle point between default BMW and the other thing. And God, it's an EV. BMW, do they do other EVs? i3, right, okay,
iX.
Yeah. Is the iX, what is the iX? BMW
it's an X5. It's just an X5 EV.
Oh, yeah. Is this their first not SUV, not hatch? Like their first sedan EV? Because... No,
they made a... like 4 Series, I think. I've seen them. They exist.
Oh yeah,
they have a little E badge on them. It's just a default 4 Series with an E badge.
Yeah, with the fake grill essentially. Yeah. I despise that fake grill.
Yeah.
God, this thing's really got me pondering. It could be so much better. That this thing keeps jump scaring me. The minivan. But yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool what they're trying. Too expensive for it though. Doesn't have that reputation of Rolls-Royce and Bentley to get into that industry, and it doesn't feel like it's trying to get into it anyway because it's still just a normal car on the inside.
Yeah.
Such an odd car. But that released, and the reviews of that have been coming out recently, and that was this very week, I believe. The new Maserati. There was a couple episodes ago at this point, you may remember we talked about it. That slots itself very well. Oh no, this is, well, the new Maserati Quattroporte.
You can't tell if this is that same one or a different one. They all look the same.
Will arrive 2024, which would be very, very long. Oh, wait, an even better car to segue onto from the i7 that we just talked about is even calling it the i7. It's such a non-name. It's just like, well, that's a BMW.
This will be cheaper as well. What were you looking at that?
Yeah.
It will be cheaper.
But also, this is very... Oh, I feel like this is also very odd and controversial in its own right? So, Porsche, they have the Taycan. And although it does look exactly like the Panamera, but electric, the Panamera was still a different Porsche to the other Porsches. Like, there's the default Porsche design, which is the 911 and every other car that's like, the Boxster, the Cayman, all of those that are just exactly like the 911 design.
I feel like that's why they're doing this to the Boxster, because nobody cares about the Boxster. Like...
Yeah. So they've got they've got their one SUV design, the Macan. Then they've got every single other Porsche, which is just...
They've got the Macan and the Cayman's this...
Is it the Cayman? I always get some of them confused. Cayman's the the regular Porsche, the default looking Porsche. But then they've got the Carrera, the Cayman.
Merge in my head. Yeah.
But then the Carrera, the Cayman, the Boxster, all of those that are just Porsche. And then they've got the Panamera, which was turned into the Taycan, which I still say it's unique in the fact that it doesn't have the same shape as every other Porsche, right? It's the Macan of I know it is a Porsche, but it's the Macan of Porsche, right? It's different looking to a certain degree, which can't be said for Porsche's latest new endeavor, which was spotted, not well spotted, mind you, the new electric Boxster or Cayman? The Porsche...
it's not a ton, it's...
But yes, the
Not a
Boxster
Cayman.
and Cayman will go electric by mid-decade. And our snappers have just caught a prototype in action. This is from Autocar, and I'm not sure... this is the Boxster specifically. But this is a prototype. And I kind of hope
I think
that
it's the
means...
Cayman, though, isn't it? Like that. They're all so similar.
It's
I
not the
can't
Cayman.
tell.
In my head, I only know them because of the crew. Because I know what cars look like because I play the video game.
Well, the
for a
Cayman,
living.
look at the image now, has the exact same front, the exact same lights, the same grill on the side.
I think it's the back. It's the back is the only thing that would be different, I assume. Because I think this is the Boxster. The Cayman goes...
I would buy a Boxster at that point.
I think the Cayman is the one that goes in straight away from its rear windshield. The Boxster is the one that comes out from its rear windshield. The Carrera comes out slightly from its rear
Design
windshield.
change you expect on a high expense car.
Yeah. This is a company that has some prestige. You buy a Porsche and people are like, oh my god, he owns a Porsche.
You buy a Porsche solely for the name, unless you're buying like a GT2 RS or something.
Yeah.
Like, unless you're buying an actual top spec race car, essentially.
Like that
you
newest
buy
one they
a
did was
Boxster
pretty cool, right?
because you want to say you own a Porsche.
Yeah.
You don't buy a Boxster because it's a good car.
Porsche, what was the most recent one they did that was pretty cool? Was that the GT2 RS? That thing I think was pretty cool because it comes stock racing design. It's just a 911.
Also very, 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 very expensive, but...
Oh, is it actually? Yeah, I assume it would be, yeah.
Yeah, they're like 200 grand.
Oh, God. Oh, what is that? That's a concept if I've ever seen one. There's no way Porsche would try something that cool now, like a current day Porsche.
But this Boxster will be more expensive than a base Boxster. It'll be between the Boxster and the 911.
I'm hoping
no one's gonna buy
it's... oh my God, what have I stumbled on? Oh, some concepts, okay. But, like, yeah, the Taken looks different to every other Porsche.
It's a Panamera. It's... Honestly, I get them mixed up when I see them out. Like, they are the same
Panamera
car.
looks a lot more 2010s to me. It looks too...
it looks very much like a first gen. A first gen Taken is a Panamera. Like they are the same car.
Oh yeah. The first, the mid of like when they crossed over. Yeah, I guess.
The Forza one looks different, but yeah, the first gen.
Like the current gen.
I cannot tell.
Yeah. Because at that point they barely decided to go into it. But at the moment, again, like the Porsche makes the same car for every single new car. And then they have their SUV and the Taken are the only different looking ones. This
will handle awfully.
Yeah, but it's their first non-Taken, I believe, SUV, EV. And I wanted to say, I hope this is very... Why has it got a USB Type-C exhaust? It's not even a USB Type-C, it's micro USB.
SMH, they've caught a...
Yeah. But yeah, the thing is, right, I hope it's very still prototype, because it looks...
It's not going to be. They're going to do it as
unique.
cheaply as possible.
Yeah, that's the thing. It just doesn't look unique in the slightest. That's why
Like,
I kind
the
of,
normal
like...
Boxster is 1.5 tons.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to be close to 2 tons.
Yeah.
On a 2-door sports car.
The Porsche Taycan...
All it's going to take to dethrone a car like that is a new MR2.
Yeah.
If Toyota can release a new MR2, or Mazda release a new EX car or something, that's 1.5 tons, 2-door, like, sort of sporty, it's going to be better than this in every single way.
Yeah.
Because this will be heavy.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't get what the point of this is. Like, Porsche have the flat 6s, and they used to have flat 4s, I don't know if they still do anymore. But, like, if you don't buy a Porsche from the name, which is Impossible Challenge level 100, right? You buy it because it's got a flat 6. This doesn't have a flat 6, unless they've developed the flat 6 electric engines, which that'd be surprising.
The like an electric muscle car, you know, it's got the electric flat 6. Let's go.
It will handle... Like, it's just not gonna be a Porsche.
Yeah.
Like,
I would wager to say it's too Porsche when it comes to... So that for the internals, sure. I'd say
it needs
for the
a complete redesign if they're going to do this.
Yeah, but for the externals, I would say from these concepts, it looks too Porsche, is what I would say. it
How much
looks
the
like
Boxster cost?
the thing we say already to stuff like the Jeep, which is that it just it could just not be EV. Again, it's not even spotted while spotted, and we haven't been doing this podcast long enough.
It
but
looks very finished.
I hope this prototype means that it's more still in the works rather than being spotted while spotted, which would
They're
mean
not gonna. They're not gonna redesign the body after making the car. Like it doesn't. They're not gonna. What kind of order of manufacture is that?
Yeah,
Make the
it's
car,
just like-
take it apart, redesign it majorly, and then retail.
Like
It
the
just doesn't make
Taken
any
has
sense.
the not exactly like it, but the Peugeot style, the tiers, right?
So it's a 100 grand car.
Yeah, but the Peugeot has the angry lion headlights. It's
Yeah,
the
that
Taken has
£23,000 car looks a lot like this £170,000 car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that one specific design piece, the Taken has that, right? This thing doesn't. It has nothing to differentiate it from any other Porsche, which again, the thing is, we couldn't even use the excuse that I devil's advocated for Jeep, which is like, what if people don't buy it? So we'll just do
No one's buying this.
yeah, but it's like, what if no one's gonna buy it? So we'll just make it electric, but not really change anything, so you can still have the same taste. Porsche know people buy the Taken. The Taken, I feel, was a pretty popular car, all things considered. It's
People
still
buy the
expensive, yes.
Taken, right?
Yes.
In a study done, 73% of Taken sold in the UK was solely for tax.
Oh, well, you know what? They're doing it for the right reasons then, I guess.
No one bought a Taken because, like, this is a great, very overpriced car. They were like, government's giving subsidies for EVs?
Yeah.
That's an expensive EV. I'll take one of those for the business, please.
But, you know, the Taken sold, though, right? So it's like, they know they can get them off the shelf. So I don't even think you could use the excuse.
I guarantee you what this is for is so they can meet emissions.
Yeah.
Because you have to have an average fleet economy of 60 miles to the gallon. The Taken is their real attempt at an EV. This Boxster is solely just for meeting those rules.
By the end, the Taken, as much as it was derivative of the Panamera, it wasn't just... I guess you could say it was just take the Panamera, make it electric, but eventually it had moved so far away that it is now, it's more its own style of car. It's less estate, it's more sedan kind of thing. But
You've seen the estate Taken.
Is there an estate version?
Yeah, it's got a name. I can't remember it, but yeah.
Taken. I mean, we're getting that Sport Taken soon with the spoiler and splitter.
That's a £200,000 car, I guarantee it.
Estate. So, oh yeah, the Taken, but just longer, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That thing, I don't hate the design of that.
I think it looks better than the normal Taken. Like,
yeah.
If you're gonna buy a
one in
luxury, you could custom order Porsches in separate colours. You can order it in that cream.
Yes.
If you spend 160 whatever it costs, you can afford to pay an extra 10.
But yeah, it's what I liked about the Taken, especially considering that this is the non-estate version, right? The Taken separated itself enough from just being the Panamera but electric. It
costs so much to get the price down. I feel like they have to do what they're doing with the Boxster. They're just taking the Boxster and being, we can put a motor there.
You know what? Maybe I'm thinking too nearsighted. I guess if the Taken did release as so derivative of the
Boxster starts at £50,000.
Yeah, this thing's gonna be.
If they're trying to hit 50 grand for this,
they
have to cut some corners.
Yeah, which just means screw art design R&D. Just do the engineering R&D of where the parts go. And then keep the same chassis and shill it on the shelves, essentially.
Sure, they can try and keep a 50-50 weight balance.
Yeah? I mean, I wouldn't know what that achieves. I don't drive. I mean, you
and
don't
like
drive.
An actual decent car.
Yeah. God, the Estate Taken does look pretty nice. I see one over here with, I don't know if it's aftermarket but it's like, something on it. But it looks pretty nice. But yeah, the Taken was eventually made into something unique. Maybe I'm thinking too nearsighted with this thing and
Taycan is a luxury car. This isn't.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? It's just like, maybe eventually it will become its own design, right? So
I don't see why Boxsters even exist.
Yeah.
Like,
they're always convertible,
it's the
right?
car you buy. I think you can get a hardtop, but they're like 70 grand. At that point, just buy a base 911.
And would it be hardtop convertible, or would it be...
I'd assume so, yeah.
Because
you buy a Boxster because you want to own a Porsche. You don't buy a Boxster because it's a good car.
Yeah.
It's just...
And it's like, what, it's this and the something else.
There's a reason old Boxsters are like 2.5 grand.
Yeah.
No one wants them.
This and the Cayman. Okay, the Cayman becoming electric is a bit better. I mean, you know what
it's going to get the exact same shape, but I don't know what you expect.
Yeah. But one thing is that I don't think they could do is just do what they... Okay, the Cayman is just Porsche, really. It's just, like...
It's the hardtop Cayman, actually. I think that's basically what it is.
Yeah. You couldn't just take the front of the Taycan, I don't think, and put it on the...
The Cayman's not the Cayman. The Taycan's way too big to do that.
Yeah.
It would look odd scaled down.
They'd have to actually put in some effort into the design, you know, to actually get it to a point where the EV-ness of it looks natural. I don't think, for something like this, what is this, the 2022 Cayman GT4 RS, I don't think that would be too hard to do, right? Just like do a similar thing to the headlight. God, the headlights are completely different on the Taycan to any other Porsche. Doesn't have those like wide-eyed headlights, I guess, the round ones. I guess it has Panamera headlights. But yeah, the same thing with the SUV. The SUV Porsche is different-ish, I guess.
I don't like Porsche. They have such like people praise them way more than they should.
Yeah.
Like everyone's like, oh yeah, but they broke the Nürburgring record. Yeah, in a car that costs like 250 grand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Its sole focus was to do that. Like I don't.
I mean that's one of the weirder things, right? Where it's like a car that is made to do a thing, and it's like, oh my god,
like the GT4. You said the GT4 RS or whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
Starts at 143 grand. Starts. I don't get it. Yeah. Like it doesn't deserve to cost that much money.
But
it's a Cayman with a wig.
From there, we can take it into what is essentially, I would say, at the level of possibly even honorary, a segment of the podcast at this point. It would be good enough to be so, and that is Spotted While Spotted. As in, the cars throughout the week, the week, I was going to say month, the podcast weekly. Yeah. Throughout the week, cars that have been spotted in the don't see the curves, you better not look at the curves, liveries with the blacks and the whites and the squiggles and the dots. First on the list is the Hyundai Ioniq 5, which...
5N.
Ooh, the 5N, okay. Now, don't they already make this?
The Ioniq 5 exists, yeah, this is the N version.
Oh, it's that car. I don't think I've ever seen one.
It looks like quite a major redesign, especially considering they've got the entire thing covered.
Would you say that? I guess... It
doesn't look as angular.
Yeah, and also, has it got fake grille? The old Ioniq 5, well, this Ioniq 5 doesn't. And if they're going from...
this is the N version. It'd probably need brake cooling of some kind. I imagine they're brake ducts.
If that's... Well, at that point, it's an actual grille, so I guess that's serviceable. But, yeah, because, the Ioniq 5...
How much these cost, they better be real. Because the base Ioniq 5 is like 40 something. This N will be 60, minimum.
The design's kind of cool, but I can't help but think that line down there looks like a dent.
It's not noticeable IRL. I've never noticed that line IRL when I've seen one.
It looks like a dent.
It's very exaggerated for this promo image.
Yeah. Here's a more IRL image of the
the dent's
5.
not even anywhere near as noticeable.
Yeah. But a pretty okay looking, I assume EV?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good looking EV, I would say, as far as
Neo retro.
hatchback. Exactly, it's got that neo retro design. It's got the squared headlights, which is what I like about the old Concept 74. But yeah, a new version of it has been spotted while spotted. The
It's
lights.
basically just a lights, aero, and it's got a wing and a diffuser now.
I would say even the lights look the same. The middle bit is still covering the same section. Oh, whoa, it's got something going on in the hood there. Okay, yeah, that's definitely got something going on in the hood. Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
It's on driver's side.
Lumps. You can see them there as well. As much as they spotted it, you can see the lumps there.
Felix, it's EV.
Exactly, yeah. Unless they're just putting like fake style on it, or maybe it's something to do with just
They
the
wouldn't.
livery.
I don't think they'd do that.
Yeah, because at the moment it's a very smooth car, right? And I would assume they'd want it to stay as such.
It might be targeting a top speed, and those are for aero.
Yeah, because they've got like lumps here as well.
Yeah.
Unless those are just, we've done a slight adjustment here and we really don't want anyone to see them, so they put like a something over it and then livery it over. So it's like you really can't see whatever it is. But yeah, the actual grills on the front, yeah, like that's a big thing. Actual grills on the front, something going on with the hood and something going on with both of the doors as well. It's right in the bang, like it's bang in the center of the doors, I want to say. Like, what would you... What are they just doing? Like, the, slapping on the fake vents. They're just, like, putting the...
I don't actually know what those could be.
Exactly. Like, it's weird that those are the bits that they're covering with things over it. Like, okay, we really don't want anyone to see it. You know, the lumps on the hood, the lumps on the sides. They're sticking stuff on the car. And I can't imagine... This isn't a car they'd make, like, a super sporty version
sensors.
of. Maybe, yeah, I guess. But what, as in like
they might be testing aerodynamics to see how they could improve.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I can imagine sensors for testing, right? How fast does it go? They actually need to like stick on a thing or something. I don't know, but it's like, why cover it with the livery?
It looks rather odd, yeah.
Yeah. God, that is interesting. That's got me thinking. The back, I don't really know what the Ioniq 5 looks like from the back, really.
It's basically got a wing, and those do look like real vents, to be fair.
I want to say that is pretty different, I would say.
Yeah, very different. It's got actual vents. It's like wide body.
Yeah. Okay, this might
it's got a
just
spoiler.
be a pretty sporty version of this thing.
I mean,
Which
it's
is,
the N. It
like,
is the.
yeah,
it's
okay.
like the RS version.
N is such a non-sporty letter to use. Like, go with like.
It's probably means something in Korean, but yeah.
Like, I don't know. Go with S or GT. You know, it's like using L or something, right? But yeah, okay. You know what? There's potential to whatever the
It's going to be
things on
too
the...
expensive to be mainstream.
Oh yeah, 100%. But it'll be interesting to see what they actually do with the hood and the sides of the doors. If it is supposed to be like this kind of like, okay, they're trying something sporty, you know. Some interesting things with that thing. The Ioniq 5. Also in Spotted While Spotted was the BMW iX2, which is such a, like, how many subsections in?
Scrap it
Like,
now, get rid of it.
Oh, it's a big M2, right?
It's an SUV version of the M2, or the normal 2 series.
M2.
It's because it's not the XM2.
Yeah.
That's a different car. It's the normal 2 series. SUVs, and then electrified.
I just found this image of the M2 while I was looking it up. Oh, I can't manage to.
No, the XM2 is a different car. This isn't the this isn't the iXM2. This is the iX2, which is completely different.
Yeah, of course.
Because BMW, you know what they're doing.
But it's BMW. There's nothing really to say. It's got the BMW. Hey,
if you've seen an X2, you've seen this.
They don't seem to be going too overboard with the snout, I guess. Great job, BMW. You're not doing something that
You
you
made a
decided to do
generic
wrong.
bland SUV. Congratulations.
It looks like the SUV version of that new M2, is what it looks like to me. It's got
You'll
a really
never
goofy looking.
see any of these
like,
because I've never seen a normal X2 ever. So.
I wouldn't be able to tell you if I've seen a BMW SUV. I probably
Not
have
many
seen
are
many.
around. X5s are like around a tiny bit.
Yeah.
I've seen one X6, the really big one.
Yeah.
That was just because it was just stuck. It couldn't actually go down the road because it's not big. But
Yeah.
different story. And then this is just bad. So.
From one SUV to another, we have the Buick Electra SUV. Yeah, the Buick Electra, which they've topped, in fact. Which they really don't want people to know what's going on with this thing.
Oh no, it's Buick. They're probably that close to bankruptcy. They had to cover it so no one looks at it. It's missing all the panels or something. I don't know.
Oh no! Oh, did they do an eclipse? Oh no! I searched Buick Electra. You know what the Electra name used to look like under Buick? It was that. And now it's just an SUV.
To be fair, that much better.
At least it wasn't an SUV.
Actually 5 nautical miles long.
It's cool because it's a classic American, though.
It just looks like generic classic American.
It's pretty
from that
bad
time
for a
now.
classic American now that I really process it. I don't like whatever's going on with the front, but
It's a battering ram.
you'd see it in the background of a movie trying to be set in that era, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, they took the Electra name because I searched that and nothing else is coming up other than this.
When
in
was the last
concept.
time you heard about Buick? Up until you saw this new Buick.
They probably did a thing that it was so unamusing I didn't even hear about it.
Do they like? Are they even Buick anymore? They're owned by someone else now. Like I don't know.
Oh, to be fair, this Buick Electra that has been spotted while spotted has already been spotted unspotted. Here's a straight up image of it that lines up perfectly with this hidden version. I guess it looks a lot.
That looks like it's gonna cost way too much money to be called a Buick.
Yeah, like it's what is it trying to do or be? I don't know what the standard for a Buick is.
It looks like he's trying to be hyper luxury.
Yeah,
that
might
isn't the
just
same.
be...
Look at the back.
Yeah, no, it isn't. No, I guess this is a much more. Unless this is a different version of it, because yeah, this one looks a lot more.
It's Buick. I reckon they are like. It's probably just another platform that they've stuck an SUV chassis on, a body on.
Like I don't know what the standard for a Buick is the thing. It looks very. It's more.
Anyone knows, to be honest.
Yeah, it's more Cherokee proportions, is what this one looks like.
It just looks. AI traffic is like the only way I can describe it.
Yeah, it's
remove the badge, and it's SUV.png number 8. Like
yeah. I mean the lights are interesting, I guess. This next spotted while spotted, I wanted to also prompt me to talk about something kind of interesting. Actually, before I get into the interesting thing, we can talk about the disinteresting first, and that being the BMW i5, which I'm assuming means it will be electric, maybe?
Yeah. But it looks like the i7, but smaller.
Yeah, it's like an actual... It's what I would expect from BMW. It's the opposite of the i7. The i7 at least got praise from me, because it was like, okay, not the best, but I like what they're doing. This thing is just like, yeah.
Do you like this?
No, as I'm saying, is it like the i7? The i7.
Do you like the i7?
I liked what they're doing with the i7, like the attempt that was made. But this
attempt at what?
It's like a.
What? It doesn't even know what it's trying to be.
Yeah, I don't think it does.
Away.
I think I'm giving it praise for something it accidentally did, if anything.
It's not anything.
This thing is just so what you would expect. Like, it really is just... Like, the i7 surprised me, and it's like, what are BMW doing? Right? Whether that's positive or negative, it was like, oh, that's something they're trying, I guess. This thing is so... Yeah, okay, electric BMW that looks exactly like a BMW, I guess.
It just doesn't...
It doesn't even have the, like, thin headlights, like the
I
i7
can't say AI traffic again, But I mean, look at it.
No, yeah, it's just a BMW. It's any BMW for. It's not even like M2, like the new M2 design. It's just any BMW from the last 5 to 7 years, electric. I want to say.
Yep.
Like that's literally all it is. I guess it makes sense that it's taking the 5 name. Because, yeah, the like 5,
It's
2, the M5, the M2, the M4, the M3, the M6, whatever.
It's just going to be a base 5 Series but electric.
It's just
and it's going to cost
BMW.
70 grand.
Like, yeah, it's 2024 launch, so that's when we'll see more about it. God, that's far away.
Yeah.
Seeing
Considering
it like
it's just a 5 Series.
Exactly. Like, what more could you do? Maybe something will happen to it in that time then, you know. Maybe...
Nothing will happen. If they've already got a body on frame driving around, it's going to release in this day.
Yeah. But yes, from that to the much more interesting thing. And that comes in the Corsa. Because when I saw this first and discussed this first, I was rather surprised. Because my instant reaction was, wait, what happened to the Corsa? Because you say Corsa...
It got too expensive.
Yeah. Because you say Corsa to me, and that's the car I see. That's the car I've always seen, no matter what generation it was. That's what the Corsa was to me the whole time. That's what it's always been. And then out of nowhere, like, I'd seen this thing. Like, I'm not going to act like I hadn't seen this thing driving around. I just didn't know it was the Corsa name. And that is this thing. It's fine, but it's like, what happened to the Corsa? It's just
it got bigger. It's like, basically an Astra.
It's a different car at that point. God, car companies love just making different cars with the same name. But,
yeah.
The Corsa just went from what it was to this, which is, I feel like a knockoff. What's the Audi hatchback? A1? Like, it looks like it's trying to be an A1. It's like one curve or a jagged edge away from being an A1, I want to say. Like, a slightly older Audi A1.
I just don't get what the idea is.
I mean, it's that style of hatchback rather than... It's not the Focus style of hatchback. You know what? To be fair, considering they have the Focus... It kind of makes it, like, hear me out, right? Say you're Ford, you're killing off your Fiesta, right? You've got the Focus, and we're talking about Vauxhall, not Ford. We're talking about Vauxhall. Completely separate companies. Completely not like. Do Vauxhall have any other hatchbacks?
Astra.
Vauxhall, Astra. Can I save this analogy? Oh, that is barely a hatchback.
It's not that. It is actually just a hatchback. It's just normal. Vauxhall Adam.
The Adam, yeah. Oh, okay, nice. This thing, that looks way too... Is that really a hatchback?
That's the old Astra. That's the old Astra.
Oh, okay. Oh, the Adam. Oh, the Adam is disgusting.
The Adam's a Fiat 500 competitor.
Exactly, that's what it is. That's literally what it is. They've made... They've turned the Corsa into an Audi A1, and the Adam is just...
I only think they've done that because it's the cheapest way to get it past EU safety regs.
I guess so, yeah.
Because the bonnet was way too low on the old, what's it called, Corsa, to be pedestrian safe in the EU's eyes. The cheapest way to do that is give it a bulbous front flat with a bulbous bonnet, and cheapest way they could do it is what the new Corsa looks like.
You mean this version of the Astra?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I don't know what that's trying to be. To be fair, okay, no. The tangent I was about to go on only worked if Ford made the Corsa, which they don't. So, but yeah, it's so weird to turn a Focus competitor into an A1, essentially. That's what they did. They turned what was competing with the Focus into now competing with the...
It was never competing with the Focus. The Astra was the Focus.
The Corsa.
Yeah, the Corsa and the Astra are the Fiesta and the Focus.
I mean,
the Corsa was the Fiesta.
I would think Ford
Astra's more expensive and bigger.
Corsa is what I would think. Because those are the two kind of, like, just buying first car, goofy car kind of buying ones. The older versions.
Focus is way too expensive for a first car.
I know the new ones are, yeah. I
Even
guess
the old ones
even
are.
the old one? Damn, okay, well, yeah.
Corsa is a Fiesta, and the Astra is a Focus, is what they were trying to do.
This looks a bit more, I want to say, prestige at still very low levels. We're talking like 2 from 1. Than the Corsa as well, I would say. Like, the Corsa looks like that just getting a car to drive to uni. This one looks more like, I don't know, your mum will buy it or something like that, I guess, this Corsa.
Is its entire purpose.
Yeah, yeah.
It's built to be as cheap as humanly possible.
Yeah.
It looks it.
But on it
someone has
getting...
to make a car like that.
Yeah, but on it getting from this to this, it seems like it's getting another, not terribly drastic everywhere else, but pretty notable change in the, what is just a dipped in spotted, just of the front, Corsa. The Vauxhall Corsa has been spotted with what is... I don't even know what it is.
It's just getting a front redesign.
Yeah, I suppose so. Which, I guess nowadays you could say that's basically the whole car getting a redesign with how the manufacturers treat it.
They're going to discontinue it soon. It's gone in 5 years, guarantee.
You reckon? I mean,
When was the last time you saw one?
I saw one the other day, actually, when we discussed it. Because I was like, God, the Corsa, what happened to it? And then I was like, oh my God, there's a Corsa, like the new one.
The Astra's a lot more popular now.
Yeah, I mean, I assume, yeah. But
basically, like, they can't really make cars that small anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
so the Astra's basically the same size, like it's.
All of the ones I'm looking at of this Corsa come with the black top. The top being black, every single one seems to come with a black top. This thing doesn't have that. And that's what's... Because there's a specific kind of design.
Though.
Right. Okay,
designs would be last, I imagine.
Okay, because that makes sense. Because
just having the entire thing painted black during manufacture and just painting the bottom, I imagine is cheaper.
Yeah,
and
I suppose so, yeah.
Counts when you make it so like this.
Because honestly, that really helps to put it in the category it is. Like, this is so much more like the Audi A1 because it's got that black roof, because the Audi A1 has the black roof. And because this thing doesn't...
Cheapest way to make a car.
Yeah. This one looks way more, like, drastic of a change to me when it isn't. Just because it's lacking the black roof. And then, they are really hiding that front. Like,
well, you can see it's got black mirrors and black B pillars. Even the C pillar's slightly black. It's going to have a black roof.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that would just be kind of odd. But
that is all the cars that seem to have been spotted while... in their good old spotted prototypes and whatnot. From there, I believe we can go into the final segments of the podcast, and that begins with the good old gaming segment. This week in gaming, in racing cars and car games, the Crew 2 is on the Ice Crown weekly event, with the reward being a cyan-spangled Nitro, upcoming for the Crew 2, as I have concluded filming for the new update, which releases on November 16th. So, only 2 days after the podcast till my early access videos come out on that. We do know what it is. Into the Storm.
Into the Storm.
Yeah.
Yay.
We've got.
I'm sure it'll be great.
We've gotten a teaser for it. We've gotten it's stuff like sandstorms, falling towers, a absolute Supra clone of a car is featured in it, that being the Mitsubishi FTO.
FTO. It's like it's special edition, like the Type R or something.
I don't know. I don't think we know what version of the FTO.
We don't know. Okay,
is.
Yeah, that's the word we're using. Yeah.
To be fair, I couldn't even tell you. Well, one, I couldn't even tell you, and two, I couldn't even tell you because I don't remember.
We don't know it is. Yeah, my bad.
But yeah, who even knows if it is an FTO?
Yeah, I mean...
But the Mitsubishi FTO is in the trailer, along with the Pontiac Trans Am, which has been confirmed because the Crew 2 is doing another Grand Crew competition, where 10 content creators go head-to-head to win their community some crew credits. And the vehicle that they announced you will have to drive is the Pontiac Trans Am, as well as that getting some handling fixes in their handling fix thing. Even though it's a new car, they were like, hey, we're gonna handling fix this thing. We haven't even actually played with the thing yet, but sure, I guess.
Yeah.
That comes out November 16th. Forza, on the other hand, is just entered their Donut Media season with I believe, a Donut Media story, as well as, which I assume probably follows the history of Donut Media?
I don't even know anymore.
I might play it casually at some point. I'm not going to play it for a video or anything. I may play it casually at some point soon. But,
yeah, I might load up once. I don't really care.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. The difference with, like... I feel like the difference with the Donut Media and, like, the other ones they've done, Top Gear, you know, maybe if I carry on this tangent, I'd just be dogging on Donut Media. I think that the thing is that you could just go watch Donut Media, and their history wouldn't change anything. Same with Hot Wheels, really. But Hot Wheels,
I reckon it's just going to be that cars, is all it is.
Yeah, yeah.
What history could you have that would work in Forza?
In concept, it's pretty cool that a YouTube thing is now in a video game. I guess. In concept, that's pretty cool. But that's come into the game with a bunch of new wide bodies as well, ending off their 10-year anniversary season, where people received the Viper 10-year anniversary edition.
From Forza Horizon 1 cover car.
Yeah, I don't know the 4 weeks because Forza doesn't post them.
They don't post it anywhere. So, like, I actually... unless you play the game religiously, like, there's no way to know.
A sportier version of the Lincoln Co. is also going to be arriving in Forza. Unbound, interestingly, got a trailer for a new game mode. And people don't really like it. It's essentially what the crew had a while ago was the agency, where it was a game mode and the whole point was drift and get... It was just like a timed thing and you drive in an area... And it's like, drift and get points, jump and...
I don't trust EA to make anything enjoyable that isn't monetary focused.
Jump and get points, drift and get points, break a thing and get points. It's just that. And if they're advertising
there's going to be one better way to do it, and that's
the thing.
It.
That was the crew issue as well, right? But the thing is, if that's one of the big content drops... you know, what have they had so far? They gave away so much day one. The map, the car list, the ASAP Rocky, the cars.
Still have seen basically no gameplay.
But then it was like customization for a whole thing. Clothes was its own thing, I guess.
Yeah.
At least we're getting information every week, but like, yeah, to show
we are getting information. Clothes was a useless waste of time. So was this. So were the others.
It's really weird to use a whole week's worth of, oh my god, it's a big event that we're announcing for
it's EA.
A game mode.
EA has no...
I stand by... I stand by the fact that I will stand by until the moment where it's like, you know, don't worry, the clothes aren't microtransaction, and the cartoon animation effects aren't microtransaction.
With microtransactions.
See, the one thing I think is missing...
the first thing they do is add a battle pass.
Yeah.
Like, I don't...
The thing I'm going to wait for...
They will be really riddled. It's EA.
The thing I'm going to wait for is when it's, they aren't microtransaction... Asterix on launch, because I cannot wait till the added things. They'll add a cartoon effect and be like, well, you gotta pay for this one.
Of course, yeah.
This one you gotta pay for. No, but none of the ones in the main game are microtransaction. You don't even have to put them on. They're not microtransaction. But this one's new. Come on, this one's new. Look, this one's new.
EA is...
You can buy this one.
Something else.
Oh my god! Do you want to wear a Jordan's hoodie? I know, right? £2. Give me £2. You can wear it.
It won't be too good. It'll be a tenner. It's EA.
Yeah.
It's like 1,000 Bitcoin for Beats headphones in F1. It's like £4 or £5 for headphones
Yeah.
in F1 that you never use.
There'll be emotes too. Well, there is, right? I swear they did announce that there's
yeah,
emotes.
there is just the gritty.
Yeah. Whereas in Unbound, I'm fairly certain there is.
Oh,
right?
no, there will be. They'll copy and paste the animations.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
EA. I don't know what people expect.
I like the crew too, so maybe I will like this game. I mean, it's not seeming like it's gonna be any worse than the crew 2. Not any better either, but not any worse.
No.
And graphically, it will be better. So it's like, you know, when you're both starting at 0, just going up 1 is still progress.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, not a lot in the gaming world. GT7's always GT7ing. CarX is probably doing something. We are closing in on CarX Racing's launch being in December. But other than that, yeah, Crew 2 got a new update soon. Need for Speed Unbound announces the new game mode, and Forza enters their Donut Media season. From there, the final segment of the podcast. Oh my god, Josh, tell me what's going on the goddamn Motorsports Monday.
I'm watching it now because this is going around by like however long.
Motorsports Monday, the segment held
this
exclusively
a sprint
on a
weekend.
Saturday.
We got FP1 qualifying, FP2 sprint, then race. Even though sprints are race. FP1, I don't even remember what happened. It was just the usual because it was a dry, so it was the four usually at the top.
Yeah.
Qualifying was interesting because it was your usual quali for Q1 and Q2, but Q3, everyone got basically 1 lap apart from Leclerc because Ferrari's 800 IQ strategy. But everyone basically got 1 lap to set a time, but before it started. Before George Russell binned into the gravel and then it started raining.
Yeah.
Because why not? And Magnussen managed to set the fastest lap.
I saw that, yeah, I was going to say.
So Kevin Magnussen and a Haas started P1.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're currently 6 laps into the sprint and he's 5th and about to be overtaken by Norris. So, yeah, I don't think he's going to be in the points in the main race. But, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's about it, really.
Yeah, I mean, outside of that,
happened.
Other than the NASCAR thing that happened last week, not a lot else in the world of motorsports, I guess.
British touring cars ended, Moto2, MotoGP ended.
No, we were going to talk about those. We were going to have such riveting conversations about Moto and British GP. Hey, we try. Who won the British GP?
Well, British touring car. That ended ages ago. I didn't say who won that. I did. That was months ago, though. Like I think it was like second episode.
Augusto Fernandez was the Moto2 2022 world champion.
He won because the only other guy that could compete crashed out on
Oh,
like lap 8. I didn't watch that live, to be fair.
and he's holding a Red Bull. Well, get a load of that guy. Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that is it for the insert episode number episode of the Stick Drift podcast. I will see you boys in the next week. Of course, check out me, check out Josh. I will probably
podcast,
subscribe to both the Stick Drift podcast channel.
I love Kevin Magnussen if you watch this long.
Exactly. If you watch this long, whack I love Kevin Magnussen in the comments. Do it now. I'm doing the outro. You can do it. And also, review the podcast on Spotify, because the moment I figure out how to read those, I'll be reading those reviews. But I know you can do it. Out. But yes, check out all of that stuff. Subscribe to the Stick Drift podcast, or just Stick Drift channel over there. But for now, that's gonna be about it from us. See you boys next week.
That's about it, yeah.
Alright, in a bit.